Today on the channel, we got a special Valentine's unboxing and review, and won't you, yes you, be my bloody Valentine.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another NECA Ultimate unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we get bloody on this Valentine's Day with My Bloody Valentine. But for all your My Bloody Valentine needs, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% on in-stock items. Anything over $79 does ship free. Got to get a deal out there. And My Bloody Valentine, an interesting one. Not high on my to-do list for many, many years. However, I was at a toy show in the summer. Found this and a couple other NECA horror figures, which we've since unboxed on the channel outside of this one. And I did talk to the table owner, and I said, hey, I'd buy all three if I can get this. Basically came down to $15, basically half price for this. So got to get a deal. It's just not a motto. It's a way of life. There you go. But it is a perfect unboxing for Valentine's Day, at least as this debuts. You could be watching it on February 18th. Who knows what you're up to, but this will be a Valentine's unboxing, and nothing better than My Bloody Valentine. I wish my Valentine, my wife Angie, maybe she'd want to unbox this and watch the movie with me. No, I know better. Didn't even ask her because she doesn't like horror movies. She hates the horror movies. She's not a fan of it. She's never even heard of My Bloody Valentine, and you might be in the same boat, maybe never hearing of My Bloody Valentine. Now, it did have some remakes, which maybe more people are familiar with in this day and age, but I go back to the classic one. I want to say it was 1981 or so. Now, this is an interesting one, and this is me putting my film hat on because you guys know, Todd, you know especially, Kyle, right here, me, one class away from a minor in film. Yes, it's true, but I also dabble in the horror movies, the horror arts, I guess you'd say. I've seen so many bad movies, so many horror movies over the years, but I've never seen a Tom Cruise movie, never seen Back to the Future, never seen a Karate Kid, haven't even finished off the Indiana Jones movies, but I have seen My Bloody Valentine multiple times over the years. So it's always wild how those kind of things work. And a lot of people say, what? How have you never watched this? How have you never watched this? Well, how have you never listened to every single new wave of British heavy metal artist in your time? Well, you guys were watching movies. I was sitting there with the headphones on, cranking the heavy metal, going through every deep cut heavy metal album of all time. Thousands and thousands. At one time, I had over 11,000 CDs in my collection. So that's always the yin and yang I go with on that one there. You were watching your movies. I was listening to my CDs, albums, cassettes, whatever it may have been at the time. Just totally different ways of life, of course. But My Bloody Valentine was a Canadian horror film back in the 80s. Now, Canada was really interesting. Canada's always been interesting. Shout out to Canada up there. One of these days I'll visit. Like to visit your Toys R Us one of these days. But Canada always had laws about musicians. Like every fourth song had to be a Canadian musician on the radio, probably on Much Music as well. So they always had some of these laws. They also had some very interesting film laws, which made a lot of people go, instead of shooting their film in, let's say, America, they went up to Canada for all the tax credits, things like that. And that's where My Bloody Valentine came in. It was filmed somewhere up there in Canada. So I guess technically you call this a Canadian horror movie. And they were trying to capitalize, or more like capitalize on, of course, the 80s thrasher? They were thrashing, of course, in the heavy metal land, but we had the Michael Myers of the world. We had the, of course, Jasons, the Freddys. You get the point. That was the slasher era of the 80s and the thrasher era, especially from Tony Hawk. I could have been Tony Hawk if they wouldn't have stole my skateboard. You know that, Todd McFarlane. But My Bloody Valentine was hoping to be the next Jason, hoping to be the next Michael Myers, which unfortunately did not happen. And I think I mentioned I've seen this movie a couple of times. It's really not that good of a movie. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm sure it has its fans. Some people probably say it's just the forgotten gem. It's fun to get back in that era. It's fun to see a slasher from the 80s, especially up there in Canada, as we know. But I felt like the minor gimmick as the bad guy just didn't hold a lot of fun. Whereas Michael Myers, what the heck is he? Is he a ghost? Is he a monster? Is he a zombie? What is he? You know, Jason, what is he? Freddy Krueger, what is he? There was more suspense, where this was just a guy in a miner's costume going down underground and kind of is what it is, murdering townspeople, getting people for the big dance, all that kind of stuff. And then the end was like a twist kind of ending, kind of. I don't know. It just wasn't that great, in all honesty. And I'm actually surprised it got remade many years later. There's a lot of older movies that I would have loved seeing remade over this one. Is what it is. So that's the long little diatribe here by me at the beginning, talking a little bit of film. But now let's talk the figure here. Say what you want about the character. Say what you want about the movie. It is a bit of a horror icon. It is going to be cool on my NECA horror shelf as we keep collecting all the horror stuff and unboxing them along the way. But there it is, My Bloody Valentine, a bit of a poster from the movie, of course. Should have had my dad here. My dad would say, what is this Bloody Valentine? That wasn't a Universal monster. That wasn't one of the Mummy movies. My dad doesn't know these movies. He wouldn't be interested at all. He's not a fan of this kind of stuff. There's more than one way to lose your heart. Oh, that's for sure. You never want to get your heart broken either. My Bloody Valentine on the side. Ultimate Bloody Valentine. The ultimate miner, of course. And speaking of the miner right there, and I guess you could army build this guy if you want to. If you want a bunch of miners in your collection, you could do that if you wanted to. But interesting on the back. And then, of course, NECA fashion. You got it going on right there. Looking pretty good here. But let's pull it out of the package. Let's whip out our miner. That's what I'm going to do later tonight. I'm going to whip out that miner. Very cool. You do got the coal mine in the background there. That's a nice touch to the movie, of course. See you later, goodbye. And there's always a sense of dread. Of course, you go underground. You're in the mines. You kind of feel like you're stuck. Makes sense. Somebody's chasing you down. You're bobbing and weaving, dancing, juking and jiving, maybe even. Who knows? But there it is, the old miner there. And, of course, a million twist ties like a young Todd McFarlane. I'm going to take this offline. We'll be back talking all things Ultimate Miner. All right, we got the NECA Ultimate Miner out of the package from My Bloody Valentine, and not a ton of bells and whistles with this one. So for me, this feels good for 15 bucks, but if I had to pay $30, $32, $36, I feel like this is lacking in accessories for that price point, as we do not get any extra heads. Not really sure what that would be, outside of maybe when he unmasked at the end, you could have that head in there, maybe, but then you have to get the actor likeness, so I understand that. Would have liked to see maybe some extra hands with this one. Didn't get anything with that, so we just got a few different accessories here. We did get stuff that obviously is related to the movie, though, so that is nice at least. So we did get the knife, of course. We saw him with this as well. Nice standard black knife. Not a lot of bells and whistles with that. His most iconic weapon, this is what people, I think, really think of, especially that opening scene. Oh, how about that opening scene of the movie? Of course, him and the girl in the mines, deep in the mines. And that girl likes him all dressed up, and she's getting there ready, all hot and heavy, and he just picks her up and puts her right on this bad boy. Spoiler alert, of course, but you got to have the pickaxe there. He's mining. He's like one of the 7 doors, just working away. Just working away. Hi-ho, hi-ho, hi-ho. It's off to work we go. Now, of course, was it the first kill of the movie or so? When he killed that old lady, oh, that old lady was just looking forward to that Valentine's Day dance. We do get the box of chocolates, the box of hearts things. It does open up, and inside, oh my gosh, watch out for that. It's a heart, of course, removed from one of his victims. So a nice thing here. You can maybe give it to your kids. Maybe I'll give it to my kids for Valentine's Day. Hey, I got you a little box of chocolates here. Dive in there, and she opens it up. It's a heart. Oh my gosh. Writes itself. But we do get that with him as well. Bringing home the My Bloody Valentine, I guess, right there. And then we do get the little worker gun here. It's got the little press on it, of course. Another one of those nice power tools. Looks like it says Bob Vila model here. Really taking it back to the 80s. Sears Craftsman? Oh, Craftsman tools. You can't beat those. Lifetime warranty. Lifetime warranty. But it also says NECA on here as well. But you do get the little gun. Got that, and that is really it for accessories. But now we're going to dive into the figure itself. Now, I feel like we've seen this body with maybe Michael Myers or something. We've seen kind of the same size. Obviously, you got to get the most out of your molds with a few twists here, of course. Now, we'll start at the head here. No extra heads, anything like that. You got the miner lamp up there at the top. You got to have that going on. I guess this little box on the side is, I thought it was more of a radio because you'd radio to people down there, but it must control the light as well in the helmet, maybe both for that matter. So we do get that off to the side. We also get the breathing apparatus, of course. Horror stories about people working in mines back in the day. It's really one of the reasons unions were formed in the first place for those coal mining days. Come a long way since then, though, of course, but we do got that going on. Obviously, you're underground. You want to be able to breathe. You want to get clean air because it's pretty gross down there. Obviously, cause lung cancer, things like that we have heard. But he does have that going on. So you do got to be a little careful. You don't want to break these hoses or the wires out the back, as you can imagine. Black mask over the top. Got the big goggles going on. But we do get a little bit of blood splatter. One thing I would like to see, maybe he didn't really have it in the movie, but a little blood splatter on the costume wouldn't have hurt anybody. I think that would have gave it a little dash of pizzazz, if you ask me. but not bad. It is a big old suit. Like I said, reminds you of Michael Myers, kind of a welder suit, something like that. Big old heavy suit. You got the big old gloves over the top as well. Get a trigger hand over here, a traditional gripping hand on that side. He's got two different belts going on. Neither of them are removable. They're brown color against the black suit. Makes it pop a little bit. Same thing with the brownish boots. Makes it pop against the body there. Not too bad, but really that's kind of it. It's just a miner at the end of the day. And if you weren't familiar with My Bloody Valentine, maybe you're just a coal miner yourself. Shout out to the coal miners out there. Todd, I guess you're living on this couch, so we'll say we. But in my area, and especially southern area, there's a lot of coal mines from way back in the day, and we hear about it on the news, see it on the news. I've even witnessed it in person, where these the ground just like collapses because there's a mine underneath, it gives way, and everything just sinks right in. So if you have coal mines in your area, I'm sure you're familiar with those kind of things as well. I don't think there's as many coal mines as there once was. Obviously, in the east coast of America, I guess there's still a lot of that kind of stuff going on, but not too much in my neck of the woods. I think there may be one left in my state. Who knows? But definitely, if you were a coal miner, this could be something you want in your collection. Long way to get there, of course. I am a coal miner. I want a figure of myself. Well, there you go. You got a coal miner figure. I don't think we get any other coal miner figures. So shout out to you, coal miners, on this Valentine's Day. You got your own action figure, and you got a movie about a killer in your profession. So always dangerous. We've had a lot of killers over the years. Only one coal miner killer that I remember, at least. Now, diving into articulation here, of course, arm's going to go all the way around for us. Double jointed elbows. How about that? We do get a little side to side, a little bit. Hands back and forth, side to side. Now you do get back and forth, up and down, side to side for the head. You do get a little bit of neck showing. That's the only skin going. That's all you do get. He's got the high collar there. And of course, yes, Todd McFarlane, know high collar equals power move, even down in the coal mines, of course. No waist articulation on him. Leg goes up a little bit, not a ton of movement. I guess you can give a little bit of that coal miner big boot if you want him to. You get a single jointed knee on him. Oh, very tight. Always dangerous. A dangerous game here at the table, but you do get a single jointed knee. A little side to side there. You do get no boot cut. I thought we did, but you do get ankle side to side, back and forth, up and down. He does have holes in his feet, so he might fit on a ringside collectible stand. Of course, use discount code Kyle. Make sure you get the Mattel stands over there at ringside. And you too can have your My Bloody Valentine coal miner on a stand. So how about that on this Valentine's Day? Didn't have anything else in my collection looking around that said love like My Bloody Valentine. But man, an interesting figure for me. $15, hey. $30, I wouldn't say so. And maybe if I was more attached to this movie, I think I could justify that, but it's one of those movies. I think I've seen it 3 times, and I don't know what I'm doing with my life sometimes. I only got so many hours to maximize, and I'll probably be on my deathbed one day. Kyle, what do you regret? Well, that second and third showing of My Bloody Valentine, if I could get that 3 hours back, I would have done this different with my life. And that's where I'm going to be when I do pass away. I guarantee it. I'm going to say, you remember that one time where I did this shelf back here and I moved all these things around and then I didn't like it and I had to redo it? Those are the regrets I have in life that eats my soul alive. Kind of like watching My Bloody Valentine 3 times. But here we are. But there it is, My Bloody Valentine NECA Ultimate. What's your thoughts on this one? Do you enjoy the movie? Did you enjoy the remake more? Do you enjoy the figure? Let me know your thoughts on this one, on this fine Valentine's unboxing. Let me know your comments in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and my other YouTube channel videos every single day, of course. ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget Patreon for early access to everything between both channels and your best way to support the channel. Don't forget SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, and now on TikTok. So for My Bloody Valentine coal miner, happy Valentine's Day.